Welcome to Mark and Rob's Sports Showdown. And guess what? If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit that notification bell when you do. It'll notify you of our next videos. So, Rob, I've been saying since like game 3 or 4 that I am not impressed with Samuelson. I'm not impressed with Wallace. I thought they had 4 good players. And then, of course, Temi proved to be a 5th good player. Of course, she's injured right now. And then I was flabbergasted that Samuelson and Wallace were getting a lot of playing time. I was flabbergasted that Hall wasn't getting more playing time because she really played hustle on defense, and that they never made it an opportunity for Celeste Taylor, who's a great defender in college, at least she was, to develop her and get some playing time. And it's, for some reason, this was kind of obvious to everybody. This wasn't just me or you or all the other YouTubers, all the media, people making comments on everybody's stations on Twitter. Everybody's saying the same thing. It was obvious within 5 games. It was obvious. 6 games. It was obvious. This is all obvious. Mm-hmm. Nothing brilliant on my part or anybody else. Right. Why did it take Coach Sides so long to figure this out? I know that Wallace and Wheeler came for the dream, but that's irrelevant. You know, you still got to be objective about this and figure out. You know, you're trying to win.
Yeah, I mean, and loyalties. I mean, with coaching, loyalty is fine, but you're trying to win. So I mean, by putting putting the wrong players in the wrong situation, as you see, did not help at all. And and like you said, you didn't have to be a super duper knowledgeable basketball player to see that it's not working. So you need to change it. So finally, she's starting to change. My like I said, my mind-boggling thing was Hull. How can you not play her? You know, defensive player all around. She's all around player. She's very smart, basketball wise. Was coached under one of the best coaches in college, so she definitely would have knowledge of what to do. But I mean, to leave her out in situations and put these other people in didn't make sense to me. Also, I'm like, come on.
Rob, Hall plays well with Clark, which I think is the most important thing for that team right now.
They do.
And she doesn't do anything stupid. She's not great at anything, but she's a good defender. She can score a little. She hustles, and she just doesn't get in the way. And she's a good teammate. She passes. You know, that's what you want. Someone coming off the bench to give you energy. She played 0 minutes 2 games ago.
Yeah, I could believe that. I could not believe that. I was like, what did she do wrong? I mean, usually sometimes like if that happens that you're in the doghouse that you said something to the coach or didn't follow something in practice, but I can't see Hall as that kind of person doing that and then play her 0 minutes like that. That was ludicrous.
No, and I said since like game 4 that Wheeler and Clark do not belong on the court at the same time, and I was right about this, Rob. And Wheeler should be playing 5 to 6 minutes a game when Clark is resting. That's it. That's it. You know, of course, there's a blowout. Of course, you give her playing time, whatever. That's it. She doesn't belong on the court with Clark. Yeah, everything gets screwed up. She doesn't know how to pass and work with Clark. She just doesn't know how to run the offense that needs to be run for this team. And this team needs to run, in my opinion. That's when they're most effective.
Yeah, Hull can run the court. And if we go into the plus and minuses, like you said, Wallace and Wheeler, this last game, they were minus 4. Hull was plus 5. And luckily the coach only played them 6 minutes, which was perfect. That's it. That's it.
What was Samuelson, Rob? What was Samuelson?
Samuelson played hers was minus 13.
I know. That's why I asked you. Because Samuelson doesn't deserve to start. And I would probably start Hall instead of her right now. Temi obviously deserves to start, but she's injured again, so she couldn't start this game. But I maintain that I picked out the starting lineup in like game 5, what I thought it should be. And that should be Temi, that should be Smith, that should be Boston, that should be Mitchell and Clark. And it's so obvious that's what the starting 5 should be. Now, if the other team's very guard heavy, then start Hall instead. Have Temi come off the bench and give you energy or whatever. But those are the 6 that she should be concentrating on playing time right now. And Samuelson can come off the bench and hit some 3-pointers, hopefully. But she shouldn't start. She's not a good enough defender, and the rest of her game is not good enough.
Right. She should have started Hull instead of Samuelson, definitely.
Right. I know it's kind of weird nowadays in basketball. You're not sure whether to start 2 guards or 3 because there's so many, so much 3-point shooting going on and everything like that. But you can figure it out. If you have to adjust the starting lineup with those two players, fine. They both give you energy off the bench, Hull and Temi. Although Temi deserves to start, maybe you'd have three players now that are 6'3" and taller. Yeah,
but your point, like in the other video we have, what took her so long to figure out this lineup change? Why did it take her over 20 games to figure out, gee, maybe I shouldn't start her. Maybe Wallace shouldn't play that much. Maybe Wheeler shouldn't play that much. What? It took you 20 games to figure this out?
Rob, this is one of the biggest sports mysteries in the history of mankind. Like I said, everybody, I bet you bright 12-year-olds figure this out. Even if they heard it from someone else, they could say, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Seriously, I don't know what took her so long. I don't know why they didn't, release Saxon and keep Celeste Taylor. I don't know why they didn't try to develop Celeste Taylor. I don't know why they didn't try to develop Berger as a backup point guard to Clark, because next year that's what you're going to need. You're going to need her to play 6 minutes next year. I don't think Wheeler's going to be here next year. So I don't know why they didn't do any of that. Saxon adds nothing to the team. Why is she not waived?
I think you could see like I said, she has an ego problem, the coach. She's also incompetent, but she also has an ego problem where, like you said, you have assistants. Assistants were probably telling her, hey, why don't we try this? Why don't we try this lineup? But no, she wanted to stick to the same lineup over 20-something games and same rotation over 20-something games without, adjusting. You, as a coach, you have to adjust. If it's not working, change it. Don't be so stubborn and egotistical and throw your players under the bus instead of you taking responsibility for it.
Rob, she must be a bad evaluator of talent, because when people questioned her about Wallace or something like that, she said Wallace is a lockdown defender. And we all know she's not. The other guards come in when they play against Indiana Fever and have the best game of the year against them. And that's when Wallace is covering him. And sometimes, Mitchell isn't the best defender in the world, although she could be. And, that's simply not true. And everybody can see she's not a lockdown defender. I mean, she hustles, but she's just not good enough. Yeah. She doesn't hustle as much as Paul does. So she's not as quick. She doesn't have the long arms that all does. So I'm flabbergasted, Rob. I cannot figure out, other than that, we know she's incompetent. And part of her incompetency is she's not a good judge of talent. She's not a good judge of figuring out what players to play. She's not a good judge at when to figure out to call timeouts. She's not a good judge at doing substitutions at the proper time.
Right.
She's almost useless as a coach in that sense. She's not a good judge and knowing what offense to run with a unique talent like Caitlin Clark. What does she do properly? She throws her player underneath the bench. Tell me what she does well as a coach.
But you know what's going to be sad, Mark? And as I see it coming right here, she's going to probably last the season, but especially after this win with the Liberty, it's going to be kind of hard to say, okay, you're fired after she's done this lineup change. They should do it. It's something they should do it, but it's making it harder for her. The more they're waiting, it's going to be harder for them to do it.
I think the team will save her job. Caitlin Clark will save her job.
Oh, yeah, that's what's happening. The team is saving her job.
Because they're playing well. Boston's playing well,
Right.
And it's a nice duo with Boston and Clark, and that's going to save her job. If they win, if they continue to win. If they go on a big losing streak. Well, Rob, there's 4 games left before the Olympics, and 2 of them are home and 2 of them are away. They play at home against the Mystics and home against the Mercury. Those are winnable games. And then they play at the Lynx, Minnesota, and at the Wings. So 3 of those games are winnable. They'll probably lose against the Lynx in an away game against them, but who knows? They beat the New York Liberty. So if they win 3 of 4, including the win that we just had, and they won 6 of 9 so far, they're not going to fire her.
No.
Unfortunately. So these games, it looks like they could win 3 of 4.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Like I said, this team, like you said in the last video twice, this team has confidence now. Mm-hmm. And they have a lot of confidence after last night.
Oh, yeah.
We're taping this July 7th, by the way, right after the big win against New York Liberty. Anyways, that's our take. Let us know what you think. Let us know, why, besides the fact that she's incompetent and dumb, why did it take her so long, besides the loyalty? I guess those are the 3 reasons, the combination of those 3 reasons: loyalty to the team's They came over with the dream, the fact that she's incompetent, the fact that she's dumb, the fact that she's stubborn.
Stubborn, yeah.
You can think of another reason. I don't know. There's 4 I can think of. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Intelligent, non-insulting comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit that notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next videos. If you like the video, hit the like button. And we've got a live show tomorrow, which is July 8th from 6 to 8. Rob will be there. They were asking about you last week, Rob.
I'll be there. I'll be there today. I'll be there this Monday.
Eastern time every Monday except for major holidays. And that's not for the 2 weeks during the Olympics because we're going to have a live show from 2 to 5 Eastern time again, p.m. And that's because it's prime time in Paris, and that's when the marquee events are. And Rob will be there for like at least 2 or 3 out of each week. Anyways, join us for that, and join us for the live simulcast for the game. And that the next game is on the 10th at 12 o'clock. And they have a noon game on a weekday. I have no idea why, but that's what it is. But we'll see you in the next video.
All right. Peace out.